Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Midnight Therapy. I'm your host, Kat Matthews. We are going to get into some things here. This is going to be a rather brief but important episode here on this fine Sunday in Nipa. That is Northeast Pennsylvania for you that don't know. The theme of this episode is going to be sort of the cycle of life, the circle of life, whatever you want to call it, things coming and going, things coming to an end that maybe once were good. Maybe some things need to come to an end. Believe it you will. A tough pill to swallow, but swallow it you will. Everything comes to an end. And it's sad, and sometimes it's not sad, but everything comes to an end. Everything dies. Baby, that's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City. The reason I'm bringing this topic up is I think it's good for everybody to know, to pay attention to. If you're a fan of the show, you know that I like to seek out these little life lessons through, atypical sources. I see things in a way that maybe most people don't see, and maybe that's why I have my loyal fan base. They enjoy the unique perspective. Whether it be the very early episodes of me making life metaphors about Chuck E. Cheese, or whatever it may be. I like to believe I bring a unique perspective to the mundane or the overlooked. So with that being said, this weekend, me and Christy went out shopping, and we hit two stores that, whether you like it or not, or you're happy about this or not, these two stores will no longer be in business anymore in the next couple months. They are going out of business forever, permanently. Now, you know how I feel about Toys R Us, which went the same way, and we all let that go because we're losing our culture and we don't care about things anymore, and we've become drones and consumers of the internet. We let go of our customs and traditions and our childlike joy because it's convenient and it's easier to just buy something online. I'm not one of those people. I like to hang on and preserve maybe traditionalism and reject modernity at times. I like going to a toy store for toys. I don't have to just get it on Amazon or the Walmart app. It's an experience. You have pet stores, they only have pet things there. You have stores like that, like a sporting goods store only has the toy store. It was like, let's go to the toy store. Now everything's a one-stop shop. Anyways, I'm moving off topic here. We saw Toys R Us go, and I'm still getting over that. We saw Payless go. Payless was a great place to get cheap shoes. Not everybody's rich, especially today. To have that option was nice. To buy the knockoff Nikes was a nice thing. It was a nice thing. The two stores we went to that will no longer exist, whether you know this or not, is Big Lots and Party City. Now, if you are my age or older, or slightly younger, you may remember the glory days of these two stores. Party City, especially, with the wall of masks in the back and the costumes. There was walls of pictures of costumes, and you would say, get me the slutty cop costume, number 45, and they'd go in the back and get it. And you would try it on, and you'd say, I'll take it. And then if you were planning a party, they had everything you needed: the streamers, the plates, the napkins, the piñatas. They'd blow up your balloons for like $0.25 with helium. And the big part, it employed a lot of, entry-level job, positions for teenagers and college kids or people that needed an extra income, or maybe your full income when that was possible 10 good years ago. So now all those people are out of work. You will never plan a party the old-fashioned way, where you go to the store with your family and you pick out the stuff. Should we get these napkins or these napkins? It's just Amazon cart in your pajamas on the couch while eating cereal and also simultaneously watching a show and painting your toenails. That's how much of an afterthought everything is. Just a not like nothing is significant anymore. And I'm trying to tell you why that's a big deal. I will not let it go that easy. As you know, when stores close, they have pretty big sales, discount, clearance. And if I learned anything from being an antique connoisseur, a lover of, patina junk, I learned day one, the most valuable lesson. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So you may have noticed there's a new decoration on the desk. I got this golden corgi thing from the clearance section of Big Lots this weekend. Pretty beautiful. Looks great with the lighting. Looks like some type of idol people would worship at one time or another. So, I mean, some things are unfortunate for other people, like the owners of Big Lots, but some things, that are unfortunate for some are fortunate for others. So I lucked out. You may have also noticed the bling that I have. This is very real. I came into some money. I'm just kidding. This was from Party City. This is for a costume. I got it in the clearance section for a steal. It was maybe $1, not even. I had it on the dog. He was wearing it around. I had to take it back for this podcast. I'll give it back to Tully later. But what I'm saying, things come and go. People will benefit from things coming and going. Pay attention now. This is a bigger, deeper message. I'm speaking in a metaphor, and like a parable. It's going to make sense. So I hope you're taking notes. Things come and go. Some people benefit from it ending. And then we all move on and we're distracted by the next thing and it gets forgotten. Just like me and my father, when we would go to estate sales, we had this good old expression. If you were a picker and you were hitting the estate sales and the yard sales, you would be digging through a house. You'd have a company come in or the family would do it. They would set up everything, maybe tag everything. They would maybe price things on the spot at the estate sale. They had to sell everything. They're like, well, the house is sold. We got to get everything out of here. And an estate sale is an interesting experience because you are looking through someone's home that they had just lived in until they died. Their bed is still there, same bed sheets. Everything's on the dresser. Every item's in the garage just like it was. It's very odd if you think introspectively and you think deeper about things. It's a little odd. The toothbrush is still in the bathroom. It's weird, but everything goes and everybody comes in and they rummage through everything like a bunch of like roaches on a muffin. And they run out and they try to flip it or they put it in their house. And that's life. That's a cycle of life. You live, you die. Everybody sells your shit. Everybody gets your money and that's it. And only in the end do you realize it was all an illusion. But if you're a picker, you get to see that. So whenever we worry about money or we worry about possessions, we just say, who really cares? We're just getting it ready for the estate sale. That's our little saying. We're like, we're just getting it ready for the tag sale. Everything we buy, say you go get a new blender. It's like, well, who cares? Just getting it ready for the estate sale. Live by that. Live by that because that's how ephemeral this all is. And if you are making a name of yourself or your only way to have an identity is by what you own or what you do for a living, what title you bear at the current moment, rethink your life. I mean that. You are not defined by what you have. You're only really defined by what you give away, whether that be like lessons, experiences, a vibe. Like when people are around you, you're always a good time. They'll remember that, but they won't remember that you had the nicest lawnmower in town. Like some guy's going to get that for half price off your wife that just wants it gone. She'll say, take it. I don't want it. We're going to Bermuda. We'll miss him. I don't know what he paid for. What is that? A John Doe? Is that a deer? I think that's a good brand. How about $50? And then somebody like me will be, how about 30? Just kidding. But you get what I'm saying. Things come and go. Possessions come and go. People come and go. Countries come and go. Empires come and go. Ideologies come and go. And that's the theme of this episode. Now, the best part of the episode, the most positive part of the episode, was me getting the golden corgi and the golden bling. It's going to get a little negative now. Christmas time is over. Like I said, sometimes the good things have to end. Things come and go, like the seasons, like Christmas season, like fall, winter, spring, autumn. I might have said fall twice. Who cares? Things come and go. Now let's look at what's here. And let's look at why it's here. I wanted to ignore this one. I really did. But the fog. Everybody's talking about this fog. And it wouldn't be my show. It wouldn't be Midnight Therapy if we didn't address things that are in the current events. If anyone knows anything about the fog, if anybody thinks it's a fluke, let me know. But more and more people are talking about it. So it must have credibility. It's popular now to talk about the fog. But I guess there's mass scale fog everywhere, and some people think it's just normal, but other people think it's like nefarious, like it's burning their lungs. You know? Seems like maybe it has a disease in it. I don't know. Maybe they're spraying it. I don't know. But there's fog everywhere. And I have nothing more to say other than I tried to ignore this story because I thought it was a bunch of hoopla. But now it seems to be, getting a little more credible. Who knows? I will say, when those Canadian wildfires were going on, I never saw any footage of those fires. But I did see the yellow, misty fog everywhere that was hurting my lungs. And I do remember that. They said, don't go outside. And I was like, well, this is weird. There's never been a wildfire before. Because we would have totally seen yellow-green fog if there was. Anyways, what do I know? What do I know? I'm just a rambling cowboy in the basement. Number 2. The bird flu. You're hearing me talk about it very early. We're in like the first week of January. I'm going to bring this up. I feel like I am experiencing deja vu because I've heard this story before with the COVID, with COVID-19, the pandemic. My great friend, I'd like to have him on the show. He's a professor of mine, Ryan. I hope you're listening. He was planning a trip to Italy 2019, like right before COVID busted out. And I remember him telling me in his office, he was like, I don't know if we're going. There's some flu over there. I was like, what? I was like, is it the same one in China? And then he's like, yeah, I don't know what it is. Didn't have a name back then. Some flu. And he goes, yeah, it's in Italy. It's getting kind of bad. And he canceled his trip. And he was bummed out. And we all went out, all of us. We had a big group of friends back then when you could have friends. And we went out and we partied and we're like, this might be the last day before like the world ends. And little did we know it kind of did. Bird flu seems like the next one. Now, I don't know why or what can I say anymore? The whole theme is who knows? That's the theme of this. Theme of everything anymore. Whoa, who knows? But it seems like a repeat. Trump's last presidency was ridden with a pandemic, and now his next presidency will be ridden with a pandemic. It's only fair. Trump's back. Pandemic's back. I don't know. But I do know that bird flu's been building up for a while because me and Christy are big fans of county fairs. We go to them all the time, and we enjoy chickens. Rest in peace to our chickens that are dead. They were killed by an animal. Sadly, they are dead because now eggs are getting expensive because of the bird flu. Eggs are going to be $30 a dozen if you can even get them, or if you even trust that they're not contaminated. I think it's one little thing away from going human to human. Again, do not trust me. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a credible healthcare person that can confirm nor deny these things. Just a cowboy in a basement. Comedy podcast. Wink. But eggs are going to get expensive. This may mutate to human spread. And if it does, you're in a pandemic. Because birds are everywhere and they transmit way quicker because they fly and they shit on everything and they touch everything with their dirty little feet. you know? And then we eat a lot of birds, you know? We eat turkey and we eat chickpea. So it doesn't look good, but you're hearing it here first. No one's worried about it yet. They're still coming off the Christmas, New Year's bliss. They're not ready to hear any of that shit yet, but you will be. Bird flu, like I said, we go to the fairs and we love chickens. I'm all over the place today. Please bear with me. A lot to talk about, but we love chickens and we always go to see the chickens when we go look at the pigs and the cows and all the animals at the fair. But you know, for the past 3 years, there hasn't been chickens there, no birds. And you know what they said, what these old time farmers said every time? We go, where are the chickens? Where's the cock? The farmer would go, can't have them. It's against the law. I said, why? He said, bird flu. They all said bird flu. And I didn't even know what it was back then. Didn't even care. Never heard it. I said, that's weird. They said, we can't even risk having them here because it might get someone else's bird infected and then it would ruin the whole flock. And then there's no chicken, and then there's no food, and everybody kills each other for a bag of red bag chicken from Aldi, which is coming soon to a town near you. Those chicken nuggies are going to be valuable. Fill your freezer with them now while you can. Can you imagine if Tyson, the biggest chicken, manufacturer in the U.S., maybe the world, if their flock got contaminated and they had the machine gun or whatever they do to kill chickens, had to take out their whole flock, and they said, all right, well, we only have 10% of the flock left. The bag is now $45.99. You know how many people would be like awestruck? They'd say, well, what do I do? How do I feed my family? It's the only thing I know how to cook. I only know how to put nuggies in the air fryer, and I don't know anything else. We'd all be dead. It's not looking good. So you know how they always tell you there's pathways to the end of the world, and it might be a nuclear bomb, it might be civil war. No one ever thought a shortage of chicken. But you can't take that off your bingo card, folks. It might be here. So yeah, bird flu is getting weird. Just want to let you know. Trump's coming back in office. Maybe it's time for a pandemic. Who knows? We got to touch on number 3, the Cybertruck incident. I'm not going to get into this. Not going to get into this too much. There's enough content on the internet already for it, but I'm going to briefly touch on it. There's something weird with that. Something very weird with that whole thing. It stinks. There's something wrong. Something very, very wrong, actually. This guy was found allegedly this guy was found in the truck. He was already dead. He had taken his own life with a Desert Eagle 50 cal, maybe? That's what I read. I don't know. Big gun. This guy was military. Shot himself before the incident happened. I don't know if he shot himself in front of the hotel or before, because Tesla trucks are self-driving. So one could assume that maybe he was already dead, or the person that was in the truck was already dead. And then the truck self-drove up to the front and then blew up. I don't know. Here's the weird part, though. There's a lot of other things going on that you can look up other podcasts or other means of information and find all the details. Because again, I'm not a news source here. But the big one is that the body was charred beyond recognition, like bones, dental records, everything was charred completely. But his identification wasn't. Like the piece of paper did not burn, but his skin and flesh did. Beyond recognition, they said. But the paper, perfect. Perfect font, everything legible. No burn at all. Little weird. I'm going to tell you right now, a little weird. Whole thing's a little weird. Whole thing stinks. I'm going to tell you that. Is it also a coincidence that the Tesla trucks are able to be self-driven? I don't know. But it seems fishy, everybody. And is anyone going to look into it any further? Probably not. It's probably going to be last week's news tomorrow. We'll be on to something else. I hate to say it. Now, look up if you want extra resources. I hate to do this. Sean Ryan, great show, if you know that podcast. He deep dives into it. Look that up. And then, believe it or not, Alex Jones, not endorsing him at all, not saying he's credible, but his little 30-minute video on this is pretty informative. And I don't think anyone can criticize anything he's saying in that particular video about this particular topic. Not talking about anything else, but the Cybertruck exploding outside of the Trump hotel. think he has some decent points in that video. So I would check those out if you need more info. Moving on, the drones. There's something connected to this man with the Cybertruck and drones. I guess he was kind of trying to whistleblow information about these drones like a day or two before this happened, and he was planning this the whole time. I don't know. He said he wanted to get attention. He had to prevent World War III. He was saying maybe he was just nuts. Maybe he was insane. Maybe he had a PTSD or some other type of mental instability. Who knows? But little weird how this is all connected, isn't it? There was some talk that these are like anti-gravity, no propulsion. Who knows? Some type of weird propulsion, no heat signature, like we were seeing with these other alien craft or off-world craft they were talking about a while ago. These drones might be that. They might be coming from a Chinese submarine, coming from the water. There's so much to unpack. I can't even begin to. But there's something weird there with this guy talking about drones and then doing this, Cybertruck explosion, suicide thing. Who knows? Very weird, though. Very weird. I don't know what to make of it. Again, I just reflect on these current events. I'm not telling you any answers. I don't have any answers to tell. But it doesn't look good. Maybe I'll do a whole episode on this one day, but if you're listening to the show, you probably already know what I'm about to say, or this topic at least. But if not, I want you all to maybe look into MK Ultra. Again, I'm no expert on this subject. I don't really know what it is 100%, but I do know it has something to do with our government and our intelligence sort of dabbling in the world of mind control with people. And it really started with Lee Harvey Oswald in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Also, Jack Ruby, the person that killed Lee Harvey Oswald before he was able to testify. Also, Charles Manson, who you all know, has a connection to Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby in particular. Jack Ruby and Charles Manson both had several interactions with a man named Jolly West. You can't even talk about this stuff, which is so crazy. I'm doing it, but it's whatever. Like I said, it's a small show. They didn't shut me down yet. But look into all that I just said. There's a plethora of information online about it all, but once you start reading it, you say, this doesn't really make sense. Maybe they were messing with people, making them go crazy, so that people would do the bidding for them. And who's them? That's what they want us to think. Who's they? It's a thing you're going to look for forever, but once you look, you can't stop. Warning, don't go down the rabbit hole, folks, unless you want to go crazy. So they say, did MK Ultra have anything to do with this man in the Cybertruck? Did it have anything to do with the guy in New Orleans? I don't know. It's getting weird, though. You have to agree. So with that being said, things come and go, like I said. Things come and go. News stories come and go. People come and go. Ideologies come and go. Countries come and go. Where do we go from here? As Americans, as America, the country, where do we go from here? Maybe we're finished. I don't want that to be true, but maybe America's run its course and it can't sustain its place in the world anymore. I don't really know. I don't know if we, as the people, trust the government anymore. I don't know if we, in good heart, could trust the government. I really don't know. I think the people may have degraded down a little. I don't know. Like maybe we are not what we were. Like maybe we don't have as much critical thinking skills. Maybe we are too distracted. Maybe we do get easily tricked too often. Maybe all those alleged experiments on seeing how much we are willing to take. Maybe we passed the test that they could really sell us anything and we'd believe it. And I don't want to believe that. And I didn't want to believe that. Like I didn't want to believe that Vivek and Elon were right about the H-1B visas, that we need people from other countries to come do these jobs because people in America can't, because they're not smart enough to or capable enough to. I didn't want to believe that, but maybe it's true. things make me believe that's true, like the Hawk Tuah girl, who I brought up many times on the show. If you know what happened with her crypto, I don't need to get into that story either, but a lot of people were very mad, and I think they're even suing her now because they lost money on her meme coin. Now, for those who don't know, crypto, that would take 5 podcasts to explain. And even after the most competent expert explain crypto to you, if you are intelligent, it still wouldn't make sense because crypto doesn't make sense. No matter how many times you use fancy words like blockchain and rug pull, and it doesn't make any sense. But why does it have to? See, that's the thing. It doesn't have to make sense for you to want to invest in it. A lot of things don't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense, but they still happen. But Hawk Tuah Girl launched a crypto because everybody who's anybody launches a crypto now. It's the new thing to do. Make a meme coin and see what you could do. And everybody invested. A lot of people invested and everybody lost their money. But here's what I'm saying. The people of this country, and even the world, but mostly this country, thought it would be a good idea to invest in cryptocurrency. But wait, there's more. Not just cryptocurrency based on a girl that built her entire career saying Hawk Tuah on a drunken interview. A 2-word phrase related to a sexual act made this girl even remotely recognizable by the public. And she made a crypto, and people thought that would be a good idea. When you say that out loud, you kind of get what Elon and Vivek were saying. You kind of go, well, maybe we don't have the smartest people in the country or in the world. Maybe we don't have the smartest people. Maybe they don't have the best judgment. Maybe they won't propel us to the next frontier, to the next big thing. Maybe they won't. And it's kind of a fair argument. Again, I love America and I love the American people, but I think that scam style, easily tricked, bred in circuses, next spectacle, Price is Right, America's Got Talent, Bravo television, Hallmark movie kind of vibe is us. You know? I think we are easily tricked. I think that's what keeps our economy going, or what used to keep our economy going. So I can't hate it that we're all tricked, that we got tricked by the Hawk Tuah Girl coin, because it's fitting. It's fitting. And it's fitting that a revolutionary war or a civil war would take place over red bag chicken nuggies rather than grandiose overreach of the government and deceptive lies by the mainstream media and a crashing of our economy and entering proxy wars and an open border. None of that would cause a civil war in this country, but running out of chicken nuggets would. And you know I'm right. And you know I'm right. And I think that's what we all have to think. Things come and go. America might be on its way out. I'm not saying it's in the next year or two. It might take 50 more years, but I don't think it's what it was. And I don't know if it'll ever be back to what it was. These are the thoughts that keep me up at night. Just kidding. I really don't care. I really don't care. And I'm going to get to why you shouldn't care either. Everything might be a lie, and that's okay. I looked through those January 6 files, and I keep seeing more and more weird stuff. I see agents undercover with MAGA hats on, breaking glass, telling people to go in, and then in the same video yelling at them, do not go in, after a couple people get in. I see people opening gates and opening doors, and I see people reporting that they're feds and they're wearing MAGA gear. It's very odd. And now we know that there was like 40-some confirmed people in there that were federal operatives of our intelligence. Everything's a lie, my friends. To some degree. Some lies are bigger than others, just so you know. There's liars out there, but there's degrees of liars, you know? Not all liars are created the same. You could fart in an elevator and your friend could say, was that you? And you go, no. And it was. That's like a little lie. You could lie in a way bigger fashion on a way bigger scale, and that's different. You know what I'm saying? It's a spectrum here. So all I'm saying is there may be some type of, let's say, event or events coming that are intentional, whether it be mass scale terror of some sort, whether it be another pandemic through the bird flu, whether it be something stopping or prohibiting or delaying the transfer of power to Trump this month. And all I could say is don't question anything. Because if you do, you will be deemed a conspiracy lunatic. Because that's how they got us all. They said, if you question the experts, you are a conspiracy nut. So even me questioning any of this, there are people going to say he's nuts. I would like to beg to differ that not questioning it, because it's so blatant in your face, makes you actually more nuts than questioning it. That's kind of how I feel. I don't know. If you agree, let me know. But I think we're so easily fooled and tricked, and our attention spans are so low, and we're so ready for the next juicy story that we kind of are going through life with our guard down a little, thinking everything's normal, even though it's not. This is not normal. The things you're seeing is not normal. Maybe we're desensitized to these tragic things, but it's not normal. Drones in the sky, people driving trucks through people, cyber trucks blowing up outside of a property owned by the president-elect. It's not normal. Not normal. Just like we've been saying for years, if you've been paying attention, having a blatantly open border, southern border, is not normal. There's no reason for it to let people in without vetting, because you have no idea who's coming in. Same goes for your house. Same goes for Disneyland. If I don't know who you are and you don't have a ticket, you probably shouldn't come in. That's not racist. That's not being mean. That's not, it's nothing. It's just how life works. Would you let anyone into your home if you had no idea who they were? No. Don't do that for a country either. And I don't care if the person came to my house and said, but I just want a better life and I like your house and I want to come in. I would never say, oh, well, they do want a better life. Come on in. There's the couch. I would never. And you wouldn't either. So don't lie. Things have not been making sense for a while, and they're going to continue to not make sense. So what do? You might say, what do we do? I'm going to tell you what I would do if you were to ask me. Number one, accept that nothing is really a coincidence, especially not in 2025. There's not really coincidences anymore. Everything's strategically planned. Everything. The entertainment industry, politics, everything. So accept that. Swallow that pill. I would say live your life for you and your family and your friends. Like create a little small world that you live in and stop focusing on the giant big picture, because it's too much to comprehend and you have no causal power to affect it. And if you try, these powers will probably stop you. And it's better to just avoid that. You think you want to fight the good fight, but you realize you really don't. Trust me, you don't. Just exist in your little world until someone gets in your way and then handle it. But most of the time, no one's going to get in your way. And I would just stop worrying. This is a lesson for everybody. Just don't worry. There's no use of worrying. Worrying does nothing. Just prepare. Just prepare. That's all I could say. You want to be in the middle. You don't want to be completely oblivious and dumb. You also don't want to know too much and be a conspiratorial lunatic. You want to be right in the middle. Be aware of what's going on, but realize you can't change it and go on with your life and get an ice cream. Eat a chicken wing. Have the chicken wing. We'll say, things are looking a little weird, and then bite into that wing while you still could before the chicken shortage of 2025, which sparks, some conflicts, in my honest opinion. Nothing really makes sense. I would say wake up and then go right back to sleep. There's a good way to put it. Wake up to what's going on and then go right back to sleep. Go, huh? What? And go right back. That's what I would suggest. Don't be asleep your whole life. Wake up a little, see it, go, and then go right back to sleep. Like the allegory of the cave, like we covered the one episode with Mike the Barber. Those who live in a shadowed reality will think you are insane when you have seen the light. I have seen the light. And to circle all the way back, things come and go. America might come and go, just like Big Lots. America might go the way of Toys R Us and Party City. And all you can do is grab onto a little memento to remember it by. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your family, maybe it's what you've done, your body of work as an artist, your legacy as a human. Don't let it be only things you own. Don't let it be a job you've worked. Don't let it be that you paid all your loans back and that you never took a vacation and I worked hard and I sacrificed my back. Don't let it be that. Let it be something you're proud of, personally, because things come and go. Empires fall, Big Lots closes. Me, all I have to remember Big Lots in Party City is that little corgi and this chain, which I do love dearly. 24 karat. My question to you is, how will you remember the country you love? America, the USA. There's ways to remember it. Our heroic stories, the Industrial Revolution, our pursuit of happiness and doing what's right and being the defender of the world. Red, white, and blue, fireworks, hot dogs, muscle cars, rock and roll, pinup girls, football. All these things bring back a nice nostalgia, but how will you remember it if they disappear? If everything you know and love goes the way of Party City, how are we to remember this country? And who will be rummaging through our estate sale? Who will be looking at the city of Philadelphia like I looked at, an old weed whacker in a garage at an estate sale? How much for this? Who will say that? When will they say that? These are the questions. But all I'm telling you is the writing is on the wall. Things are looking weird and no one seems to care. Very little. A little bit of people care. I'm saying care, but don't care too much. Care, but don't care too much is what I got to say. And with that being said, a message from our sponsors, as always. Jack's Pub and Eatery, great chicken wing place. It's very fitting. While the wings are still here and juicy and delicious, please take a trip on down to Jack's Pub and Eatery, located in downtown Jessup, Pennsylvania. It is, I'm not lying, not just saying because they're a sponsor, but they have the best wings I've ever had in my life. They're big and they're juicy, and they cook them in a way where they're crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. They have the best selection of sauce also. Get them while you can, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm suggesting. Wing night is on Wednesdays, and yours truly does bartend on Wednesdays, so come on down while you can. Also, of course, as always, my very dear friend, Mike the Barber at Three Saints Barbershop, located in historic downtown Jessup, Pennsylvania. He just did me up with a nice trim. We had a couple good conversations. It's always a podcast there. So if you like this show, you can experience it live while also getting yourself to a point where you look 30 to 84% more attractive, which can only benefit you. It can only benefit you to go get a haircut or a beard trim at Three Saints Barbershop. So why don't you just do it? What are you waiting for? Just do it. Actually, go get a haircut at Three Saints. Then take a trip on over. Get 10 wings. Get 5 wings. You're going to get 10 total, but you're going to say 5 hot jack off. That's a real sauce. And you're going to say the other 5 Carolina Blue with a side of Ghost and 2 blue cheeses. Celery, if you want. Get that. Get get some sort of drink. They have Peroni on draft. If you're Italian, that's nice. If you're not, still nice. Get that. Chow down. Eye up a girl at the bar. Talk to her because you have confidence now that you got the haircut. Wipe the hot jack off sauce off your face. Go over there and say, I'm going to tell you the pickup line. Say, hey, how about that bird, Flue? That's what you say. And she's going to say, what? And you're going to say, I was listening to it on this podcast. You should check it out. Show her it. And she'll go, oh my God, that guy's so hot. And be like, all right, well, you don't have to. You can say, well, just listen to it. You don't have to look at him. And it's okay. That's fine. She's going to say that. They're going to say that. But then you go, maybe we could listen to it together. Maybe we could listen to Midnight Therapy together sometime. And she'll go, That would be amazing. Here's my number. And you take that number and you call her up when the next episode drops. And I guarantee you, your chances of getting lucky are about 4%. Jack's Pub and Eatery, Three Saints Barbershop, both in historic downtown Chester, Pennsylvania. You heard it here first. Plenty more episodes to come. We got a couple special guests coming as always. You know how it is. Got to do my current events here. With that being said, stay curious, my friends. Good night.